Hey there, it's your favorite remote work enthusiast, Delilah. However, I think by the end of today's video, I might not be some of y'all's fave anymore because I'm going to be giving you guys a big dose of tough love, but just know it is coming from a sincere place. Like, I actually want you to get hired to work from home. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why you have not gotten hired to work from home. These are the 10 things that you are doing wrong. And just to give you guys a little preface, I actually work in remote human resources. I have my own consultancy. I do hiring for remote first companies, and I'm always looking at applicants' resumes and cover letters. I do the interviewing process and make the selection and do training. So I'm actually on the business side of getting hired. And then I have this YouTube channel and my digital courses where I work with y'all directly. And I know exactly what you guys' grievances are, the things that you're concerned about. And I've been there too. Like, I've gotten hired to work online before. So I'm coming from a place of knowledge when I tell you these 10 things that you are doing wrong in your online job search. And I know from the business side as well as from the job seeker side and like from the helping you guys side, what is going on. So just letting you guys know, because what I'm going to share with you may step on some toes, but I honestly don't even care because I know that this is just the video for the person who is like, what do I need to do to fix why I haven't gotten hired? And they're going to watch this and they're going to get hired because they know what to fix. So let's get into it. Number one on this list of things that you are doing wrong in your work from home job search is you don't know how to find work from home jobs. And this became very clear to me kind of recently. Like, it's something that I knew people had a problem with, but I didn't realize how extensive this problem was until I started a Facebook group recently. And the whole premise of the Facebook group was if you share a lead, someone else will share a lead. We just help each other out, and reciprocity makes the world go round. However, what I found was a lot of people would actually just make requests for the type of job that they were looking for. And it was like 98% online job requests and then like 2% people sharing jobs. And most of those jobs I had already shared anyhow. So it really just wasn't productive. And I realized that part of the reason why people were making these requests to strangers on the internet is because they didn't know the skill of how to actually find these online jobs themselves. Now, I actually have a video that I will link up here on 3 websites where you can find legit online jobs. And I show you exactly how to do that in that video. So the first thing that a lot of online job seekers get wrong is they don't even know how to find these jobs. And it is an imperative skill if you want to work from home. And especially if you want to find the job that's the best fit for you, you're going to have to do some digging and searching yourself. Reason number 2 why you haven't gotten hired to work from home, which piggybacks off of the first reason, is you're putting your online job search in somebody else's hand. So for example, I know a lot of folks are subscribed to my channel and multiple other channels that are similar. They might get somebody's newsletter. They might be a part of several Facebook groups that are dedicated to work from home jobs. And that is a great, strategy to add to what you're already doing in your own job search. However, what most people do is that is their job search. So if they want to work from home, instead of learning the skill, like I said in number 1, what you're doing wrong, of finding these online jobs themselves, they now put the job search in someone else's hands. And they complain and get frustrated that they're not sharing the jobs that they're interested in. And this isn't even about me. Like, most people tell me they love the jobs that I share, but you may be putting your online job search in other people's hands and you're not taking ownership of it. this is your career. This is your work from home journey, and you can't put that on anyone else. So if you are just heavily relying or solely relying on this channel and multiple other channels and other platforms that share these work from home jobs, then you need to stop right now, because that is not going to get you hired. And that's part of the reason why you haven't gotten hired. Reason number 3 why you haven't gotten hired to work from home is because you are applying too sporadically. And this is something that a lot of job seekers don't really think about, but it's kind of like if you were to take a hat full of names and you've got your name in there multiple times. That increases the likelihood of your name being pulled out of the hat. Well, you want to be strategic about applying always. You always want to be strategic, and you want to apply to jobs as often as it's a good fit for you and as often as possible. So I always say getting hired is a numbers game. You want to apply as often as you can, and you want to have some sort of strategy behind your application process. So when I was looking for an online job, I applied to a job like it was my job, and I got myself on a schedule where I knew every single weekday, for example, I was going to apply to jobs between the hours of 5 and 8 p.m. And if I only applied to a couple of jobs, then so be it. But I was taking that time that I dedicated every single day to applying to as many jobs as I was a good fit for. And if you are only applying to jobs here and there, or because you've put the job search process into someone else's hand and you're only applying to jobs every time they find something that you like, then it's going to take longer for you to get hired theoretically. Now, I know it only takes that one job to get hired, but I will tell you, when you've got your name in the hat more than one time for jobs that you're a good fit for, you just increase the odds that someone is going to give you a call back. So you want to apply more often, and not applying enough may be the reason why you haven't gotten hired yet. Reason number 4 why you haven't gotten hired to work from home is because you are applying to jobs that you do not qualify for. Now, this is something that a lot of people are confused about, because I think there's just this idea that if you apply to a job by, somehow you're going to get hired, and that company's going to train you anyhow, so why not go ahead and apply? But that thinking is wrong, because if a company tells you that there is a minimum requirement, then to even get past that first level of hurdles, you're going to need to meet that minimum requirement. And yes, all companies are going to train you on how to do things the way that they want you to do them. But if they have a minimum level of requirement, then that means that you're supposed to be coming in with some sort of basis of knowledge so that they can just train you from there. Unless a company explicitly says this is a zero experience opportunity, we're going to train you to know everything that you need to know, then if you are applying to jobs with no experience in that area and they tell you, for example, we need 7 years minimum experience, if you don't have that and they say it's a requirement, that's why you haven't gotten hired to work from home. Now, just to kind of give you another spin on this, let's say a job says that they prefer you have at least 2 years experience in customer service. So preference is different than a requirement. If they say we prefer you have 2 years experience, if you are just shy of that 2 years, maybe let's say you've got 1.5 years experience, then in that case, yeah, it doesn't hurt to try applying because they say they prefer it and you're really close. But if they say it is a 2-year minimum requirement that you have at least 2 years in customer service, then if you have only 1.5 years experience, then you don't meet those requirements and you're wasting your time. So you most likely haven't gotten hired because you are applying to jobs that you do not qualify for, especially if you're applying to jobs that you're not meeting those minimum requirements. Reason number 5 why you haven't gotten hired to work from home is because you are applying with the same generic resume and cover letter for all of the online jobs that you apply to. And a lot of people don't realize that you're supposed to customize your resume and your cover letter each and every time you apply to an online job. And to give you the best scenario for understanding how or why this matters so much, let's say, for example, I walk up to you and I say, "Hey, how you doing today?" And you respond to me, "The Lakers beat the Celtics." Like, we're having two different conversations here. It's going to kind of come out of left field. It's not really going to make any sense. That's exactly how it is when you apply with a generic resume and cover letter to a job. They're going to feel like you guys are on two different pages because you're not speaking the language of that job. You're not speaking to what they say they're looking for. You're just telling them what you want to tell them. So if you haven't gotten hired to work from home yet, it's because you haven't been customizing your resume and cover letter, and you have to do this for every single online job you apply to. Number 6, you refuse to improve on or even learn these job search skills that are so necessary to getting hired to work from home. So let's say, for example, you've never learned how to write a proper resume. And this entire time, you've just been guessing your way through the process of what you think a resume should look like. If you are doing that, then you need to stop right now and you need to actually develop and cultivate these skills, because this is what's keeping you from getting hired. You're not going to somehow get hired out of the sea of applicants who are doing those things the proper way. And just to let you guys know, it is even more competitive now than ever before because we're in a global pandemic and people are looking to work from home, not just because they want to, but for safety reasons. So there are a lot of really impressive online job applicants out there, and they're bringing their A game because they're cultivating these skills, they're honing on these skills, and you aren't. So stop doing that, get yourself some skills, and if you aren't doing that, then that's why you haven't gotten hired to work from home yet. Reason number 7 why you haven't gotten hired to work from home is because you refuse to invest in getting those job skills that you know you need. So let's say, for example, just keeping with the resume example, you know that you don't know how to write a resume. Well, instead of just Googling your way through the process or YouTubing your way through the process of writing a resume, what you should do is pay for a premium course on how to do it the proper way. Now, I understand some people might have an objection and say, well, I just don't have that kind of money. Well, you should at least find someone who is teaching that information and at least find out how much it cost for you to get that information so that you can have something to work toward. And the reason why DIYing your way and, doing the free thing is not a good idea is because some content doesn't work in certain formats. And I can speak to this because I actually have a resume course all about making resumes for online jobs. And that is something that I would never put on my YouTube channel because there are things that I can do with my course platform that I can't do here that I know is going to ensure that you actually get that information in the way that I want you to receive it. So for example, I can't do quizzes on YouTube, but in my resume course, I can do quizzes. I can't make sure that you watch the videos in order on YouTube, but I can make sure that the content drips to you as you complete certain courses in my Teachable platform. So if I want to make sure that you actually learn this skill, and I want to make sure that I'm not worried about an algorithm or, any sort of constraints in a free platform, it has to go on a paid platform. Not only because I want to get paid for my expertise and the time that it took for me to get that information, also because I want to make sure that it's delivered properly. So while you can find some really solid information out there that is free, you should at least try to invest in some paid course or something to advance your skills. And it doesn't even have to be mine. Like, if it's not mine, that's fine, but go somewhere, find someone who is teaching these skills so that you can actually get hired to work from home. Not doing that is keeping you from getting hired. Reason number 8 why you haven't gotten hired to work from home is because you haven't evaluated where in the hiring process you need to get more skills, you need to fix. So let's say, for example, you have applied to 40 jobs and all 40 of those jobs have sent you, sorry, we're not going to move forward type, rejection letters. Well, that's where your problem is. Your problem isn't with the interview. Your problem isn't with the assessment. Your problem comes way before those things with your initial impression with these companies. So you would probably want to work on your resume and your cover letter and like how you fill out the application. Like, you would want to focus on that aspect because that is where you keep getting out of that hiring process. If you, for example, don't have any problem with getting the next next steps for like the assessment, but you just can't seal the deal. Like you go to the interview, but they always choose someone else. Well, guess what you need to work on? Your interview skills. So there's different areas of the hiring process that each work from home potential employee needs to look at and identify like where they need to improve. And you may not need to worry about your resume and cover letter. You might need to worry about, improving your interviewing skills, and then vice versa. Someone might not even need to, worry about interview skills. They might need to worry about getting their resume and cover letter to a place where these companies want to move them on to the next step. So not evaluating where you're going wrong in the hiring process for online jobs is keeping you from getting hired. Number 9, you are not work from home ready. And this is from an equipment standpoint. So you may be applying to jobs that are going to provide you equipment because you don't have the equipment. And there is nothing wrong with that. It's a great strategy to actually get started working from home and make money. However, if you are limited to only jobs that will provide you equipment, and on top of that, you're only applying to jobs that are going to be a good fit for you, that is really going to narrow the opportunities that you could potentially get hired for. So not being work from home ready is keeping you from actually getting hired because the job that would be the best fit for you, they don't provide that equipment. Now, another scenario that I have heard of is people have gotten hired for jobs. However, because they didn't meet a certain speed requirement or their laptop or computer just didn't meet a certain requirement, they actually got terminated from those jobs. And I understand part of why that happens is because of lack of finances. So you want to make a plan to save up so that you can become work from home ready, and you want to have some sort of strategy in place. If you just don't have any money at all to invest in your home office, which at some level, even if a company is going to provide you equipment, there's going to be something that you might have to come out of pocket for, then you might want to make the strategy of, let me go get a job from somewhere nearby that has a hiring sign in their window and save up so that I can come back to the work from home job search and then actually have the means to get hired for the type of job that I want to get hired for. But not having the equipment is one of the reasons why people do not get hired to work from home. And then even after they get hired, they can get terminated. So make sure you have some sort of savings or some sort of way that you can actually get this equipment so you can properly work from home. Last but certainly not least, reason number 10 why you have not gotten hired to work from home is because you don't believe any of this applies to you. In fact, you feel like you are doing everything perfectly and it's just a matter of time until these companies come around to you. So you don't feel like there's any areas of opportunity, and you know what? These companies are just going to have to get on the same page as you. And if you never get hired to work from home, then that is just their loss. And the thing is, even as someone who is a professional in this remote HR career area, there are things that I have to improve upon like all the time. I'm always buying courses and books and education programs on how I can become a better hirer, like how I can get better at the recruiting process, how I can improve on my knowledge of writing resumes and cover letters and testing it out and seeing how that translates to online jobs. Like I'm always improving my skills and I'm a professional in this field. So if you feel like there's nothing for you to learn as someone who is a job seeker, then chances are you just won't get hired, or maybe a company will eventually hire you, but it's the reason why you haven't gotten hired yet. So if you feel that way, then at least just be open to the fact that there's something you don't know already that you could potentially learn. And that is why you haven't gotten hired yet, because you haven't opened yourself up to that idea. So there you have it. Those are the 10 reasons why you haven't gotten hired to work from home. And as I mentioned, these are coming from a place of I sincerely care. And I know that these kind of came off a little brutally truthful, but that's actually kind of what a lot of us need. We need someone to just give it to us straight. And this was just a big dose of tough love. And it wasn't me trying to be mean or step on anyone's toes. It's just me telling you the honest truth as to why you haven't gotten hired to work from home yet. So if you are someone who's like, okay, I'm ready to like figure out what I need to do, I'm ready to improve on these skills, then I have some free resources in the description box below that are info packed and they're really going to help you with your remote work journey. And I wanted to make sure that I had these resources prepared for you because I know that there are going to be some people who just don't have it to invest right now. So I'm giving you those resources for free. So make sure you check them out. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you for sticking with me through this entire video. I do hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.